Right now, something at the Nürburgring feels completely broken, not because of the unpredictable weather, but because an active Formula One world champion has entered the green hell and suddenly the entire event feels like a high-stakes F1 paddock. Honestly, this was never meant to happen. The Nürburgring 24 hours is pure endurance chaos where reputations are made and destroyed. But the moment Max Verstappen's name appeared on the entry list for the number 3 Verstappen Racing Mercedes AMG GT3, Saturday tickets completely sold out. Around 300,000 fans filled the Eiffel Mountains just to see him. But if anyone expected a calm F1-style storyline, the circuit immediately delivered a harsh reality check on lap 1. Daniel Juncadella started P4. But within the opening corners, the number 3 Mercedes made heavy contact with the Lamborghini, causing an instant puncture. Even so, against all expectations, Juncadella kept the damaged car moving through the chaos and climbed up to second place. That is the Nürburgring at its purest absolute unpredictability, but survival here is measured second by second. In heavy traffic, Juncadella slipped back to 4th, fought his way back to P3, and after 7 laps the team made the call. It was time to pit. When Verstappen climbed into the car, strategy had already dropped the team to 10th place. P10 on debut, surrounded by traffic. What followed on his very first flying lap is exactly why everyone was holding their breath. Switching from a precise Formula One car to a heavy GT3 machine on a blind, bumpy circuit is a psychological shock. And immediately, the Nordschleife tested him. Verstappen began pushing hard and launching aggressive overtakes. But the track struck back when the car hit a large bump mid-pass. The rear suddenly snapped loose, and for a brief, terrifying moment, it looked like he would go straight into the barriers. The broadcast fell silent, but Verstappen recovered it in a way only elite drivers can. With extreme car control, he caught the slide, stabilized the Mercedes, and saved it right at the limit. He stayed on throttle and lost no positions. The message was clear. The green hell had tried to break him, and he responded immediately. From there, Verstappen attacked relentlessly. On lap 9, he passed the number 26 Mercedes for 9th. On lap 10, he moved ahead of the number 7 Lamborghini for 8th. By lap 12, he overtook a BMW for 7th. Then on lap 13 came a move that needed multiple replays to fully believe. He caught the number 47 KCMG Mercedes of Jesse Krohn, and instead of waiting for a straight, pulled out under full acceleration, went around the outside, and even dipped 2 wheels onto wet grass at over 200 kilometers per hour just to complete the pass. The crowd erupted. That move alone elevated him into net P3. It was another reminder of a pattern seen before. When Verstappen looks uncomfortable, he becomes even more dangerous. And if anyone doubts the brutality of this circuit, the barriers tell the story. By the 3rd hour, the Nürburgring began eliminating top teams one by one. Thierry Vermeulen in the number 45 Ferrari GT3 attempted a risky pass through traffic, collided with a Porsche Cayman, and was sent hard into the barriers, ending his race instantly. Shortly after, confusion during a Code 6 zero-slow zone triggered a chain reaction crash. Alex Sims in the number 16 Share Sport Audi was caught in it and forced to retire. While others were falling out of the race, Verstappen Racing made a bold strategy call. On lap 1.5, they pitted, but kept Verstappen in the car for a double stint, rejoining in 5th place. Then the weather changed. Light rain began falling in scattered sections of the circuit. Half the track stayed dry, while the rest became slick and unpredictable. Most drivers backed off to survive on slick tires. But Verstappen did the opposite. On lap 16, he executed a sharp, opportunistic pass on a BMW just as a caution zone ended. On lap 17, in worsening rain, he dove into turn 1 and passed the iconic number 911 Hyundai Porsche of DTM champion Laurens Vanthoor to take 3rd place. He treated the rain as an advantage, while others treated it as danger. That set up one of the defining moments of the race. Verstappen was now P3, hunting the leaders. The number 34 Walkenhorst Aston Martin, and the number 67 HRT Ford Mustang. On lap 19, down the ultra-fast Dodger Hohe straight, he made his move. In one continuous high-speed sequence, he slipped into the toe, pulled out, and executed a double overtake, passing both cars at once. Just like that, on debut, Verstappen led the Nürburgring 24 hours. The crowd erupted as he immediately extended the gap to 25 seconds. But at the Nordschleife, no lead is ever secure. Around the 5-hour mark, chaos returned. Kevin Estre spun his Hyundai Porsche out of contention. Moments later, Arjun Maini in the number 67 Mustang spun in almost the same location. The circuit was clearly punishing the frontrunners. Despite everything, Verstappen remained composed. After 2 demanding stints, he brought the Mercedes into the pits on lap 22, handing over a 2.5-second lead to Jules Gounon. If the race had ended there, it would already have been historic. But in a 2 4-hour race, the real challenge begins later. Gounon delivered a steady and controlled stint to maintain track position. As the 6-hour mark approached, the race shifted into darkness. Austrian driver Luca Stolz took over the number 3 Mercedes just as night racing intensified. At the front, the number 80 Windward Mercedes, driven by Fabian Schiller, closed the gap using an alternate strategy. Stolz found himself in a tense, close-quarters battle in near-total darkness. He eventually completed a decisive outside pass to retake the lead for the Verstappen racing entry. After the opening phase, the picture was clear. Juncadella survived early contact. Verstappen delivered a debut filled with aggressive recovery, wet weather mastery, and a landmark double overtake for the lead, while the team maintained control through the opening night transition. But with more than 16 hours remaining, darkness fully setting in, and rain still threatening, the question remains: can Verstappen Racing turn this extraordinary debut into a 2-4-hour victory? Or will the Nurburgring once again reshape the outcome in the early morning hours? Switching from a Formula One car where every corner is engineered, predictable, and stabilized by immense downforce to a GT3 car on the Nürburgring Nordschleife is not just a category change, it is a complete reset of driving instincts. The GT3 machine is heavier, less responsive, and constantly moving underneath the driver, especially on a circuit that offers no real margin for error. The Nordschleife itself is a sequence of blind crests, compressed compressions, off-camber corners, and sudden elevation changes where drivers often commit to turns before they can even see the apex. In that environment, even a slight imbalance in braking or throttle can turn into a moment that decides the entire lap. What makes the situation even more extreme is traffic. Unlike Formula One, where every car is within similar performance windows, endurance racing at the Nürburgring places radically different machines on track at the same time. Faster GT3 cars are constantly threading through slower classes, all while sharing narrow sections of tarmac that leave almost no escape route. That means every overtake is a calculated risk, and every hesitation can cost multiple positions. When Verstappen began pushing immediately after getting into the car, he wasn't just learning the limits of the machine, he was doing it while navigating a moving puzzle of cars, blind corners, and changing grip levels. Then came the moment that nearly ended everything. As he committed to a high-speed pass in traffic, the car struck a significant bump at the worst possible point in the corner. On the Nordschleife, these compressions are not minor disturbances. They can fully unload the suspension and instantly reduce tire contact with the asphalt. In that split second, the rear of the Mercedes broke away violently, meaning the car was no longer following steering input, but instead rotating freely toward the outside of the track.